I toured Campbell County Training School in Campbell County, Virginia. It was established in 1923, and its primary goal was to educate African Americans in the days of segregation. While looking into this, I found many interesting and encouraging facts about the history of this property, and I'm looking forward to telling you about that right now. In 1896, the United States Supreme Court, in the matter of Plessy versus Ferguson, granted a ruling that education between African American and white children should be separate but equal. Unfortunately, this promise fell short throughout the nation, especially in the South, and in some areas, no effort was made at all to provide public schooling for the African American population, even though they were not allowed to attend white schools. Campbell County Training School opened after Black citizens campaigned for better schools during the era of segregated public schools, according to the historical marker. The school also provided the first 2-year high school program for the African American students in the county. The Campbell County Training School was built with financial support from the Black community, the county, and the Julius Rosenwald Fund. Booker T. Washington and Julius Rosenwald were important figures of the time to equalize the educations of African American and white children. Booker T. Washington was a slave during the Civil War. He was denied an education as a boy, and he fought to overcome the barriers in way of to achieve his education. And his ultimate goal was to unite the African American community. Julius Rosenwald was an American businessman and philanthropist who donated millions of dollars to build schools for African American children in rural areas. By the time the last school was built in 1932, more than 600,000 African American students in the South had attended a Rosenwald school. The Campbell County Training School is counted as one of these historic Rosenwald schools. Julius Rosenwald Schools Fund, inspired by the work of Booker T. Washington, helped build more than 5,000 schools for Black students, including about 380 in Virginia between the years of 1970 and 1932. I toured one such school in the historic Campbell County Training School virtually. It was erected proudly on a little over 8 acres in the Virginian wilderness among the pine trees. The dirt of the county road preserves the historic feeling of the school. While looking at the schoolhouse, it appears that the outside was quaint and without bells and whistles. This was not built for the eyes, but it was built for a safe place to learn and mold young minds. An auditorium was in the front of the room, and I imagined presentations, plays, speeches, and lessons reverberating from the stage throughout the wooden halls. The school complex eventually expanded to include a teacher cottage, cafeteria, shop, and auditorium. To think that in the face of adversity, the voice and equality within the Black community in Campbell County was answered and is forever commemorated in the form of this structure, now deemed a historical monument. The Campbell County Training School is a state historical marker designed by the Virginia Department of Historic Resources. Just looking at the building from the outside, you can see the history is as rich as the weathered aesthetic. The story behind the Campbell County Training School was an encouraging one. And while segregation was an unfortunate part interwoven within the United States history, through this circumstance, you can see a story of perseverance and striving for something that we take for granted today, such as our education.